So you've closed on a home. What's one of the next things you need to do in Texas? You need to set up your homestead exemption. Let's talk about the steps to get there and what it does. I've printed some interesting facts from a local title company that I'm going to give in here too. So once you close on your home, typically the deed will be recorded within 30 days or so, sometimes less. Just really depends. So I always say 30 days. Give it a buffer. You never know what's going to go on. And government offices that do the recording, or if it's on a weekend, things might get delayed during the holidays, maybe another delay. So you need to go make sure that your bank statements, everything for insurance, goes to your address. You need to apply for the driver's license within no more than 30 days after you move into your new home. That's the state of Texas requires that. And you're going to need at least the paper copy of your driver's license when you apply for the homestead exemption. They may ask for some other documents, including some of the ones I mentioned: bank statements, insurance statement, utility statements, as many things as you can. Have your home address. I get all my stuff electronically, so that way I don't have to worry about things being stolen in the mailbox. Just an idea for you. So why do you want to file a homestead exemption in the state of Texas? I'm not an attorney, so I'm going to tell you some things it does for you legally, but I'm not giving you advice. So it protects you in the case of bankruptcy. And in the case of some judgments, now here's the most interesting thing. It actually provides for protections for personal property, like home furnishing, family heirlooms, provisions for consumption like food, things such as that. Farming or ranching vehicles and implements, that's interesting. Tools, equipments, books, and other things used in a trade or profession could be boat, if you're a fisherman, motor vehicles, clothes that you wear specifically for work, in addition to your other jewelry that can't exceed certain limits. Allows you to keep 2 firearms. This is Texas. Also, athletic and sporting equipments, including bikes, and then some 2, 3, 4-wheel vehicles for each member of the family. Another interesting thing. And even a single adult that holds a driver's license, or who holds a driver's license or doesn't, but relies on another person to operate a vehicle for the benefit of that non-licensed person. That's interesting. Also, you can have, if you have land, 2 horses, mules, or donkeys, saddle, blanket, and bridle for each, 12 head of cattle, 60 head of other types of livestock, 125 household pets. So that's interesting. Now, this only applies to a home that you're going to occupy as your residence, not an investment property. So let's talk more about what the homestead exemption does for you. Say that you're a veteran and you're fully disabled in Texas. You pay no taxes. You just have to provide that certificate of disability from the Veterans Administration, show you're 100% disabled. The other thing it does, as of 2024, our homestead exemption on school taxes went from 40 to 100,000, and city taxes, county, that varies from cities and counties as to what kind of exemption you get, if any. Many give very little. Some counties will freeze certain portions of your taxes when you turn 65, but that doesn't mean your taxes can increase. What it means, part of the property tax bill is when you're 65 or older, say that new bonds are passed, you're not going to have to pay that additional, say it adds a nickel to the assessment per 100. You're going to be exempted from that, but you do have to file the over 65 homestead exemption too. Part of that, you have to provide driver's license. There may be other documents. So those things, that's why you have to have those at your specific address. There's been a lot of homestead fraud. So in addition to those tax benefits, you see all these others. Also, what you need to know about tax assessments. When you close on your new home, you're going to start getting letters in the mail. Some of them are on blue cards saying, hey, for $75, I'll file your homestead exemption for you. There is no need to pay to file your homestead exemption. It is free. And if you're watching this video, and even if I didn't help you as an agent, you can feel free to contact me. I'll walk you through the process as long as you're in Texas and in the DFW area primarily, to walk through what you need to do to file the homestead exemption. It's pretty simple. There's some forms online. And if you're over 65, you do have to have someone notarize that. So you also need to know every 4 years now, because state law changed this year in 2024, that you're going to have to reapply for your homestead exemption. So again, driver's license needs to be at the address that you've declared your homestead. You're stating you live there. You can only have one homestead in the state of Texas. You can't have two. You can have a vacation home, but it's not protected by the homestead exemption. So let's talk about taxes and exemptions. I mentioned what the homestead exemption does tax-wise for you. So many times, some of the cities locally are very tricky, or counties. They'll send you a piece of mail. It looks official, says, hey, tell us what you paid for your home. Texas is a non-disclosure state. What that means is counties, cities, any municipality, no government agency has the right to know what you paid for your home. The only people that know are you, the seller, the title company, the lender. If one was involved, if you paid cash, just you and the title company, and the seller, of course. So if you get a letter like that, throw it in the trash. You are not obligated to, because we're a non-disclosure state. And those $75 cards that I mentioned you may get, again, you can contact me, or if you had an agent, have them walk you through it as well. But if you can't get help, I'm happy to help you. And if you're watching this, you most likely did business with me, so I'm happy to walk you through it. And if you've been a past client or a current client and you're turning 65, I happen to be a mobile notary, so I can actually help you with that as well. So the other thing is, say that you get your tax assessment, you get to fight your tax assessment every year between March and through May 15th. So you get comps from an agent. I actually pay a company out of Houston. There's 2 or 3 companies that are out there. I pay 50% of my savings. There's a company that does it for 25%. One of my clients has tried to use them, but assessments have went crazy, especially after COVID. Our home values increased dramatically. So for the past, 3 or 4 years, we haven't had much in the way of savings opportunities on assessment. But say that the county comes in and says, hey, say you paid $500,000 for the home. They mail you, you get the letter, it says, we're going to assess you for $580,000. So that's more than you paid. So this is the time you would send in either your HUD statement if you paid cash, or your closing disclosure if you got a mortgage. That is the only time you would supply any entity what you paid for the home. And if you fight it every year, you'll typically have less of an increase. I believe the state law max for homestead is limited to 10% increase in assessed value, not taxes paid. But if your home's 10%, if it's $500,000, they can increase it by an additional $50,000. Just keep that in mind. And if you're an investor, that's 20% that they can increase the assessment by. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I hope you found this helpful. I just thought it was important that I go through this. I usually do something about homestead every year, but I want to have this so I can share it with clients. And again, if you see this, feel free to share with anyone you want. I would love if you like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to reach out to me with any other questions. See you next time. Are you fucking kidding me?